Alright, this is probably the start of a new video. I'm not sure what all I'm including in what, so we're just going to say this is a new one. The last one, we did the motor, transmission, everything went in the car, got the diff in, carpets in, so now naturally the next step of progression is completely unrelated to everything else we did, and that is that coolant pipe. So that pipe goes on the back of the motor and it comes around here, comes forward. On the old car it was kind of ugly, and like up here I want to try and get it down low where it's not as noticeable. So we're gonna start with that. Trying to get it done as fast as possible, so I'm gonna do the same thing I always do, and I'm gonna throw it on time lapse, and I'm just gonna start fabricating. All right, so this is what I came up with. My welds aren't exactly pretty, but they'll work. I gotta cut this back like another ½ an inch so that I have room to get a hose on there. But it's not perfect. I think it looks okay. Once it's black, you probably won't even notice it, and it's low, so I can get a filter on the turbo now. You couldn't do that before because the original pipe came right here. But that took 3 hours, so it's 1 a.m. now. I'm sure my face is a disaster, but I'm gonna go to bed and then we'll do something else tomorrow. It's not done yet, but that's how it merges together in the back. For those who don't know, you can like take a piece of pipe and go to AutoZone or Advance. I always go to Advance just because I like Advance more than AutoZone, but pretty sure AutoZone does it too. You can go and you can take a piece of pipe and just ask to go in the back and look for hoses. And then you can cut them up, find something close to what you need, and then you can just cut it up and turn it into what you need. So this is gonna come off the radiator here and go down. I have to make a 90 here, but Yeah. And then that'll be done. It'll only have that little tiny bit back there, a little tiny bit up here, and then this one hose, which is just a standard G35 hose. So that's the finished overflow tank pipe thing. I'm still gonna make the hose that goes from there to there for the air bleed, but I needed to do this because my wire harness has to go through this hole and it covers all of this space. So I have to be able to tighten this down before I do wiring. But I think it came all right. Nice and low. For those who are wondering, there's an air bleed in the back. There's also an air bleed up here. So even though that is low, I still have a way to bleed the air out. Overall, I'm happy with it. So I'm in here testing these wires on this plug. See if I can do it one-handed. And I come across this one. Turns the fuel pump on and off. So now it has fuel in it. I love it whenever things work out how they're supposed to work out. Alright, I laid all this out here so that I could go through it and mark everything properly, but apparently I did a really good job of doing it previously. It tells me it goes to the fuel gauge, my data line to my cluster, ECU, map switch, like all my stuff is all marked. And I even went through like this and found all my notes. So I guess I just saved myself a shit ton of work. So that's pretty sweet. I am gonna throw some new relays in and like a fuse panel, but it's nowhere near as much as I thought I was gonna have to do. So it's been about a week since my last clip. I think there was a table here and I was working on wiring. Turns out I planned ahead, so I didn't have to do all that. It is, however, a mess inside the car. I've been working on heater core lines. I don't know if you can see them all the way up in there. You absolutely cannot. Because for those who don't know, this car will have AC and heat. AC will probably come later, but for now, heat. We put an offer on a house, so I've just been going, trying to get as much done as I possibly can. At the time of filming this clip, it is the Sunday before we go sign papers to close, so we got a long ways to go. I'm gonna throw it on time lapse. Gonna do this intercooler piping, and then that'll probably be close to the end of this video, maybe. Oh, something I forgot to show. I did all the fuel system, so that's all set up, and then my expansion tank is set up. I have my AN lines, a little bleeder cap. The fuel pumps are ridiculously loud in this car. So I haven't wired the relay in yet, but okay, that pissed me off, so I just started cutting and tacking and whatnot off camera. All the pieces. So I'm gonna weld it out. I guess I'll throw that on time lapse. It's 12:30, but I gotta do this tonight, so here we go. Alright, I tried welding all this up. Did alright up here. It's not pretty, but it's all gonna get sanded down. Down here it kept blowing holes and getting like trash, and then I realized I'm out of argon completely. So I'm sure my face is a disaster too, but get some argon and then I'll finish it up, paint it, and then we'll pick up from there. I'm pretty sure that I left off with me doing the intercooler piping stuff, so we're gonna pick up from there. It's back in. Yes, I know it's shiny and it doesn't match. I don't really care. It's crunch time. Put the blow off valve down in the wheel well because I didn't want it in the engine bay, but I'm gonna be skipping a lot on this because we already closed on the house. We are moving. I have less than 30 days to finish this, and I know I've been saying that over and over and over again, but now it's like real. We paid everything, we closed, we own it. We just gotta move. So I paid rent here for another month, specifically because of this fucking thing. And then we're gonna move on. And people are not gonna come to my house. Anyways, so what I've done so far. Intercooler piping is done. It's on tight. Heater core line right there. Sorry, it won't focus. It runs here. Goes in. They're just copper pipes because it was the easiest thing to do. Everything over here is done. It's all back there. Fuel system's done. I don't know if I said that. The oil pressure gauge goes through right here. This is a hard line fitting. The you can't beat a mechanical gauge, so obviously right now it's just zip tied up because there's no interior. Comes through right there. And then that. So probably gonna end this one here, and then in the next one we'll put the interior back together. Well, we'll start it, and then we'll put the interior back together, dash and everything, because once I put the dash in, I can't pull the wire harness out. So, thanks. I guess if you're not subscribed, subscribe if you made it this far. I would appreciate it. It makes it worth making the videos.